Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all to the JCE Connect series of online live lectures. I am Professor Amey Kelkar. So, in this semester, I'll be handling the subject Construction Economics and Finance with the subject code 20 CCT 21. So, in today's lecture, in the first part, we'll be briefly discussing about the syllabus, and in the second part, we'll be briefly discussing about a few concepts in module 1. So any one of you please give me the confirmation for the visibility of the screen and my voice so that I can continue. I request anyone to give me the confirmation if the screen is visible, shared screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Yeah, right. And I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir, audible, sir.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, fine. Thank you. So firstly, let me appreciate that you all have joined the today's lecture. And I know it's a bit of a difficult time because still your exams have not yet been completed, and starting the second semester without completing those exams is mentally not that great. But still, I appreciate effort of you 4 or 5 people who have made an attempt to join the class. It's also a sort of motivation for us, the lecturers, to continue ahead with the syllabus because your second semester is more about learning. We have quality subjects to be studied, and it's more about learning. So for any guidance and any other things, I'll be helping you all anytime you can approach me. So let us start with the introduction to the syllabus. So this is the first subject in your second semester syllabus. Here the PCC stands for Professional Core Course. You have two courses. One is Professional Core and other one will be the Professional Elective. So this is a Professional Core course with the subject code 20 CCT 21 and the title Construction Economics and Finance. It has 4 hours of theory teaching per week, and examination duration will be the same, 3 hours. The CIE, that is your internals, continuous internal evaluation, okay, is for 40 marks, and SEE, that is for semester end examination, is for 60 marks. So totally it will be a 100 marks course. And more important than 100 marks, it's a 4 credit course. Remember, as you are in CBCS scheme, the credit matters. Okay, the subjects having 4 credits will give you a higher SGP or CGP while compared to the subjects which are having 3 or 2 credits. So this is a PCC, that is Professional Core coursework with 4 credits. Then let me come to the syllabus. Let me come to the syllabus. I'll be taking a pause in between because a few students are joining. I have to take them in the meeting and then continue. So Construction Economics and Finance. Basically, this course is introduced in your syllabus with these main course objectives. Now, what happens at PG level, any subject you learn, you should know why we are learning that subject. At UG level, there are various subjects which you just learn and pass out. But once you come to PG, each and every subject is very much relevant with respect to your future and career. So it becomes very important to know what are the objectives of this course. So for this Construction Economics and Finance subject, the following are the objectives which are framed. First is understanding the importance of economics, understanding concepts of financial management, to know the time value of money. Now remember, throughout your life, this third point will be very, very, very important. Time value of money concept is the most important concept in economics and finance. The time value of money concept is a very interesting concept also. So once we go ahead with the syllabus, we will discuss that concept. The next is working capital management. This will be a core of your job, managing the working capital. The next is to understand various risks and uncertainties involved in construction. So now risk and uncertainties are a part of everyone's life and are more important in a civil engineer's life. Now, currently, the phase through which we are going is an uncertain phase. We had never planned that this phase might happen. And because of this, many things have changed. So these are such risks and uncertainties which will come across throughout your career as a project management. manager. See, I am looking at you all as a project manager. I don't want any one of you all to be in the billing department or as a site supervisor, nothing. I am looking at you all with the view of a project manager, and my lecture delivery will be also in that way. I want every one of you who are attending this course to become a project manager. I want you all to grow up to that level within the next 2 to 3 years. So these are the objectives of this course. Then comes the actual syllabus. As you all know, the syllabus is divided into 5 modules. Each module is of 10 hours and having various RBT level. RBT level is nothing but Bloom's taxonomy level, L1, L2, L3, L4, various things you may be knowing or may not be knowing. Already have completed one semester. Still, I like to tell you all briefly. These are the levels of learning, understanding, applying, solving problems, L1, L2, L3, L4. So L1 and L2, everywhere they will give you main concepts. So first 2 modules has more of these L1 and L2, that is learning and understanding. Then comes applying, then comes solving, then comes analyzing. So these are the RBT levels on which your syllabus is framed. So in module 1, it's basically the introduction type module where you'll understand what is economics, what is finance, what is their importance, what is financial management, what is the scope of all those things, what is the scope. Then next is supply and demand mechanism. It is a very, very important mechanism for all the industry and plays a very key role in our civil industry. Then is that important concept which I was talking about, time value of money. So these core concepts, knowledge concepts, you will be studying in module 1. So module 1 becomes the heart of the subject because here you will develop interest in the subject and try and understand and learn new concepts. Because I think those who have studied that project management subject, if it was there in your syllabus in 6th semester, you have gotten brief taste of what is finance and what is economics. But except that in our VTU curriculum or syllabus, there is no such subject which gives you a core knowledge of finance and economics. So this is the only subject which is available in the syllabus which gives you a core knowledge of finance and economics. Then in module 2, we have pricing. Pricing is a concept where you decide on what basis you'll fix a price of a commodity. So that applications with respect to civil engineering we have to study. Then we have financial analysis, process of decision making. This is the most important concept, that is the decision making. How we take a decision, what are the factors which will influence a decision, how our decision taken will affect the project. So in this we'll have capital budgeting, budgetary control, standard costing and variance, etc. When we come to module 3, we have quantifying alternatives for decision making. So if we have 2-3 methods on the basis of which we have to take a decision, then how shall we go ahead? Which method will be the best? So that is what is quantifying the alternatives. Basis of comparisons are there. We have proposal A and proposal B. Which proposal to accept? On what basis we have to accept which proposal? You'll study in this chapter. Then we have incremental analysis. Now these all are problematic parts. Hence there is the L4, L5 RBT level included in module 3. It will be completely of problems, incremental analysis, benefit cost analysis. So these 2 are the very important methods of learning. Then we have capital budgeting, then break-even analysis and practical problems. So this is your module 3. So module 1, as I said, gives you the basic. Module 2 starts with the pricing objectives. It takes you inside the economics and finance of construction industry. Module 3 upgrades you to the decision-making process and enables you to solve problem. Module 4 is the one where we study working capital cycle. Again, a very, very much needed concept in civil industry. Management of working capital. Then here we have some banking things such as the financial statements, wherein we study balance sheet. Now, frankly, balance sheet problems up to now are not asked in your exams, but still we'll try and study what is a balance sheet, how we update a balance sheet, and we'll take an example of a balance sheet of a construction company and try to study which all components come into that so that we will have an overall knowledge. Then we have the financial ratios. Financial ratios are those ratios which give us an idea of the company. Now, as we were seeing IPL before it got cancelled, there was something called as net run rate, and those all concepts that gave us an idea where that team is standing. Similarly, are these financial ratios which will give an idea where the company is standing in the market. Then we have again project yield, taxation, and inflation. Inflation word is moving around a lot. The rate of inflation is increasing. So exactly what is inflation and how inflation affects the civil and construction industry, we'll try and understand in module 4. Then in module 5, this was the newly introduced module in the 18 scheme, which was very nice, and practical concepts have been put in this module. Risk and uncertainties. For that, we have something called as SWOT analysis, SWOT, which stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So any project, when you are going to approach or you are going to take up a project, the SWOT analysis will play a very, very, very key role. SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Then further, in the last part of 5th module, we'll come ahead with equipment economics, because equipments are a core part of any project. We should have a clear idea how, when, how many equipments we have to get in, various modes, ownerships, and operating. On that, we have some problems also, where we'll study replacement analysis, where we'll study depreciation and amortization. So this is the overall view of the 5 modules of your subject. And this subject will help you in your career immensely. When I spoke with the passed out students, 4 or 5 students who are doing really well in the field, they all have told me that the basic knowledge of economics and finance have helped them tremendously. So compared to your 18 syllabus, small few changes have been made in this present syllabus. And learning of this course, not from the view of passing the examination, but from the view of passing the examination of life as a project manager, will be very, very important. So this is what is all about the subject, introduction to the subject. And then comes the most important thing, that is the course outcomes. Once you complete this particular construction economics and finance course, we'll expect that you will know the importance of economics and finance in civil engineering. You will be able to analyze the financial statements. You will be able to assess the financial ratios. You will be able to develop a budget, manage it, regulate it, analyze risk. So various outcomes are expected from the study of this subject. Then question paper pattern, you all know it very well. You'll have to answer 10 questions, each of 20 marks. So you'll have 2 questions from each module, and once you answer 100 marks, it will be reduced to 60, and 40 will be your internal marks. Then these are some reference books. I have just gone through a few books online. They are a bit above the language used and all. Just if you want for reference online, you can check. And these are reference books, not the textbooks. And single textbook doesn't have all the concepts. There are various concepts are there in each textbook. So we have one textbook, Khan and Jain, which is there in the MBA library, which is used by those students. That is a good reference which I found. I have also taken many points from that book, Khan and Jain book, but it is not directly mentioned in your syllabus. But it's a nice textbook for your basic understanding of economics and finance subject. I think one textbook I have in the form of soft copy, which I'll share with you all. So this was about the introduction to the subject. So thank you for attending the introduction class, and I'll be continuing now with the module 1 and start with few concepts. So once again, I welcome few of them who have joined late to the JCE Connect series of online lectures. We are into the subject construction economics and finance, and we'll be starting with few concepts of module 1. What I request you all is to note the key points, keep a notebook and pen with you all. and maximum notes I'll be sharing with you all in the form of PDF notes in your group itself as soon as the module gets over. So in module 1, we'll be starting with the definition of economics. So what is economics? Economics is a word which is derived from a Greek word, oikonomia, wherein okios stands for
Sir,
house. Yeah,
sorry sir
yes,
to interrupt, but screen is
yeah,
not
yeah.
proper.
Screen is not visible. Anyone else? Is the screen visible?
It's more at right side.
More at right side.
Yes.
Anyone else is facing the problem? Because for me it is visible. I've on my mobile also.
No, sir, we are.
So it is visible, sir, properly.
It is visible properly. So yeah, you can check the settings of your phone, I think.
There is option
Yes,
at the
yes, sir.
right
I
bottom
have seen, sir.
to change your page layout. There you can change it.
No,
Yeah,
sir.
there
Now
can
it's
change.
now it's visible, sir.
Fine, fine. Okay, yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
So now, as I'm starting with module 1, I'll expect some interactions also. So don't be afraid. Put up your ideas because online lecturing is not easy and we are not at all used to it. A few of you all in your B final year must have gone through this process, which is not easy. So what I expect is you all also put up your ideas because many of you all have worked, you are working also, you have experience. So once we have some concepts, we can go ahead with the discussions also. So let me start with the definition of economics. Economics is derived from the Greek word, as I told you all, oikonomia, where okios is the house and nomos means laws, meaning managing the home. That's why I generally say the best economist is no one than a mother, because from the definition itself, managing the home means who manages our home maximum time. The home is managed by our mother, and she is the best economic and finance manager. Because many times we have seen in the crisis, or many times when we are in the need of money, from where she removes money and gives us, we only don't know. We only like she's a housewife, and when we require something, she says, wait, I have something with me, I'll give you. That is what is economics. So economics is an art of saving money and utilizing money at the proper situations for the proper cause. So once we read the definition, various textbook gives various definition. 3, 4 textbooks I went through have various definition, but which I found suitable, I have taken it. If you find a better definition, you're always welcome with that idea. You can write it, you can share it with all. So as per my best knowledge, I'm defining economics as a social science that studies production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. So it's a social science that will study production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. And as we are dealing with civil engineering industry, we'll not go directly with the words of goods, but services comes into our bracket because we are civil engineers, we are serving the society. So economics for us is what? Making a product, distributing the product, and seeing that the product which we have developed is properly used is economics for us. So economics is an social science. So these definitions will help you all in working also because it will make the purpose of your work very much clear. Then comes construction economics. Now, what is construction economics? I'll define it as a branch of economics which consists of application of techniques and expertise of economics to different areas of construction industry. So economics as a whole is an ocean. In that we have one part which we called as construction economics. In that we are applying various principles of economics related to our construction industry. The basic subject which you have studied in your B level, estimation and costing, can be a part of construction economics because that's where we start dealing with the money things. Okay, so such procurement are there. Further, the store management comes and various concepts of civil industry are associated, and together we club them all under the title of construction economics. So for those students who are interested in working on projects on economics and financial concepts, money related matter, these things will be very, very useful. There is some concept called as portfolio management in which economics plays a huge role. Okay, portfolio management, one of my students had worked on that project, a portfolio management project also. Then construction economics is concerned with man's needs for shelter, and the suitable and appropriate conditions in which he can work and live. So now there are two things about which the construction economics deals with. One is living, one is working. So civil engineers are the ones who will provide you the shelter in the form of home, as well as they'll provide you an working space. Now it's the current peak time where our home has only become our working place. Otherwise, those two entities are different, but both are developed by a civil engineer. So construction economics is concerned with man's needs, basically the need with respect to shelter and appropriate conditions in which he can work as well as live. Because appropriate conditions means having all the required basic facilities. It seeks to ensure the efficient use of available resources and increase the rate of growth of construction in most sustainable manner. So what does construction economics tell you all? It tells you all the efficient use of available resources, how you have to use the available resources efficiently and increase the rate of growth of construction so that your works are completed faster in the most sustainable manner. Now this last line was not there in the slide. Sustainable manner is the word which I have added now, because now we are getting an idea how much it is important to go ahead with a sustainable construction. We want something which is sustainable, which is environmental friendly, which will last for a longer time without affecting the environment. That is what is sustainable manner. So I have just modified this sentence and included the word sustainable manner. So can any one of you all give me an example where we can go ahead with a sustainable construction concepts you have studied? Just put up something from your side. What idea you have for sustainable construction? If anyone comes ahead and puts up some words, at least I'll feel happy that you are there in the class and not sleeping. Is anyone who is present out of the 8 people? Any idea what you feel?
Solar panels,
Okay, fine. Efficient use of solar energy, right?
solar energy, and also
Okay.
efficient use of wind energy, sir.
Wind energy.
Using wind energy in HVAC, sir.
Right. Yes, correct. So in short, Apurva means use the natural resources to make
Resources.
a sustainable construction, right? Anyone else? Apurva, let's give a chance to others.
So by using
Yeah.
locally available materials.
Yeah, Vinay, very nice point. So he's saying that we can use locally available materials. What happens is it's a double advantage. It increases the economics of your own town place, whereas it reduces the transportation cost also. Very nice answer, Vinay. Appreciated. Anyone else with anything?
So by
Re-
recycling,
recycle or reuse the material.
Use. Okay, Sachin, very nice. Yes, Vivek, anything from your side?
so I was telling the same thing.
Same point. Okay. Oh, it is as if you're writing the internals, you're sitting ahead and behind.
No.
Okay, fine. Yeah, Sachin, Vivek, yeah, very nice point. Recycle and reuse becomes very, very important concept in civil engineering, because material wastage is a very, very important aspect. One project work I have done on that, I have found out the percentage of money which we lose just by misusing or wasting the material. So material management, the concepts which you told come under that sector, which is a part of sustainable construction. Very good, Sachin and Vivek. Very nice answers. Yeah, anyone else?
The construction of green buildings.
Yeah. Overall, it's a concept of green building, Revan Gowda, correct? So once we go ahead with the construction of green building, the sustainability aspect gets covered up in that. Nice. Yes.
Use of sustainable energy sources.
Yeah, sustainable energy resources. Yeah. So sustainable energy resources are the ones which will not affect the environment. More the electricity we use, more the environment we are spoiling actually. So with the use of sustainable energy resources, we can surely attend a sustainable construction. So thank you all for your responses. It's nice to hear that you are in the subject. That's a motivation for us also in this pandemic times. So that is what is your construction economics. Naveen, I request you to off the mic, please. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So that is what is your construction economics. So now what happens is when we discuss the subjects, you need not by heart. Okay, when you start writing the answers, the flow comes. And if your concepts are proper, I will accept those answers. Don't worry about it. During valuation also we do it, because it's a subject which is not textbook based. We are not in school that what is written, it is not history. that in India got independence in 1947. You cannot make it 1948. But this is not such subject. These are the subjects which are understanding based, and you can employ your own idea. Tomorrow you might come up with a concept which still has not been introduced also. So that can be a great thing. So in this sustainable thing, we get some concepts such as alternate materials, green buildings, use of all the energy resources available from the nature sustainably, then rainwater harvesting, such all concepts come. So which comes under the scope of your construction economics. Because economics in today's world, I personally feel we cannot deal it only with the money. If you are saving the nature, if you are preserving the nature also, it is economics. You are saving something, you are saving more than anything. Now we are seeing oxygen which was offered free by the nature to us, which we misused, or we produced more of the carbon dioxide, and today we are suffering for a basic oxygen which is available free of cost in the nature. So for me, sustainable economics will include the environmental part also. So you all also, as a civil engineer, further a construction technology expert, in each and every of your project, when you work as a project manager, see that the project is sustainable. Okay, just don't go against nature for earning money. Nature will take it in wholesale. Okay, when it wants to take it back, it will take in wholesale. So that is what is the concept of construction economics. Then scope. This is very important. So scope of economics, if you have proper knowledge of economics, it will help you in decision making. So what I observe here is we all are very, very weak in decision making. Let it be any decision. Okay, simple decision as simple as selecting a dress, to a big decision of buying a car or buying anything which investing money. We cannot take decisions on our own. Okay, why we cannot take decisions on our own? Somewhere we are lagging in confidence, and somewhere we are afraid that if the decision taken by us is wrong, we have someone to blame as a partner. So decision making is a very, very, very important concept in civil engineering, and as a project manager, you will be on the chair where you have to take the decision and further take the responsibility. Even if the decision goes right or the decision goes wrong, there you cannot blame anyone. So knowledge of economics will help you all in decision making. It will help you all tremendously in decision making, because at the end of the day, a project is successful if it is financially viable. A project is a failure if it is not financially viable. So one of the biggest examples here nearby Belgaum we have is the Kali Nadi project. All of you must have heard the name of Dandeli, wherein various resorts are there. There, a Kali Nadi dam was constructed on Kali Nadi. The name is given as Kali Nadi project. Okay, and it is recognized as one of the failure. For that construction, a lot of deforestation was done. Many animals got killed because of the backwater. But further, at the end of the day, how much it was supposed to serve the society, we did not get that output. So these are the major decisions, okay, you will be taking in your further life. Again, I'm repeating, I'm looking at you all as decision makers. I want each and every one of you all to become a project manager. I don't want you all to just log on the sites. Okay, I want you all to be the tomorrow's leaders. So study these subjects properly. Then selecting the best possible alternative among the available alternatives with the view of maximizing benefits and minimizing cost. So you got to be practical. That's what is the scope of economics. What is helpful to your industry? What will achieve the growth of the industry? Among the best possible alternatives, you have to select. Here, relations, emotions are aside. Only your view is what? Maximizing benefits and minimizing costs. Then making efficient use of available resources to maximize output and satisfy greatest possible number of needs. So in any project, there will be some needs of the project, or at the end of the project, your project will be satisfying these all things. So the scope of the economics also includes that. You have to use the resources available very much efficiently, so that you'll get the maximum output out of the project which you will be doing. That is the scope of economics. Then comes the other part of your syllabus, that is finance. Now, what is finance? So now we have finance ministry at state levels as well as central level, but the person who is educated in that is called as economists. Our ex-Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, was one of the best economists whom we have in our country, but he handles finance portfolio. So see the relationship. Economist is the one who handles the finance, and you are a civil engineer who will be studying economics and finance. So you'll be in a dual role. So instead of appointing anyone from the field of MBA finance, you'll be able to fill his shoes because you have the knowledge of economics and finance also, and you are a civil engineer. So you will be in a dual role, and hence the value of construction managers is very, very high in the current civil industry, but subjected to proper knowledge. It is not that only if you have a degree, they'll call you and give you a job. If you have degree plus suitable knowledge, sky is the limit for you all. So finance may be defined as the art and science of managing money. Yes. Now, many of us lack in this. We have money. How to manage money, we don't know. Some people don't have money, so they are not bothered how to manage the money. So what is finance? Finance may be defined as the art and science of managing money. Our principal sir, among many various people whom I have met, is one of the best financial managers whom I have seen, and I have learned many things from him also. So finance is nothing but you can define finance as the art and science of managing money. Again, this is the definition put up by me through some reference. If you get some another more technical definition, or the definition which will suit better, it's always welcome. I will not have any issues. I don't expect you all to just copy and paste, keep this in front and write your assignment. No, let your ideas flow. It includes financial services and financial instruments. Finance is also referred as provision of money at the time when it is needed. So now this is very nicely framed definition. Okay, this is very nicely framed definition wherein we say what is finance? Finance is the provision. Okay, we say that finance is what? It's a provision of money when it is needed. And many times we don't have it. And that's why we can say that we are not managing our finances well. Okay, finance is also referred to as provision of money at the time when it is needed. So that's why your financial planning becomes very, very important. Now, many of you all who are staying outside during your BE days or during your MTech days also, you all will understand this very much effectively. As the month ends, your pockets become empty and empty and empty. It is not that you'll not have breakfast, lunch, dinner during those days, but what happens is we don't manage our finance properly throughout the month, and we face financial crisis at the end of the month. Okay, so similarly, at 10 times or 100 times higher level, financial management is a concept which will apply in civil engineering. So as a mini project for previous batches, I had worked how to manage the finance. One project also I had done wherein stage-wise availability of finance for an building I had studied. I had taken a residential building in which stage-wise how you require finance, at what time you'll require money, and how to make it available. We had conducted a study on this. So it's a function of procurement of funds and their effective utilization. So finance tells you from where money should come and how you have to utilize that money. So both aspects are very important. You should know the sources from where your money is going to come. And secondly, you should also know how nicely you'll be utilizing the money which you will be getting. Okay, so here procurement of funds is an important concept, and second is effective utilization. So these things itself can be your actual seminar topics also who are interested in this financial things. Procurements of funds, how you procure a fund. If you are a builder, you want to construct a building, what will be the finances, what all options you have, that is procurement of funds. Once finances are available with you, how you effectively use those finances is the second aspect. Then studying and understanding the concept of finance is an important aspect for a project manager. So this last two words are you all for me. You are a project manager for me. So studying and understanding the financial concepts become very, very important for an project manager. Then scope of finance. In such, we cannot define the scope of finance because scope of finance is too huge. So finance functions primarily involve activities like raising funds. Then we have investing with the view of making profits. Okay, so we have investing with the view of making profits. Once you have money, where to invest that money? how to invest that money such that it will make profit. So these things come under the scope of finance. The next is balancing inflow and outflow of cash. Very, very important concept of finance. How the outflow has to be managed, it is a very, very high level skill. So because money just comes, money just goes. If you're working with a contractor, he will be always saying this, that money doesn't stay in hand. That is what is inflow and outflow of cash. The next is budgeting and decision making. Then next, assessment and evaluation of financial plans and policies. So in this sector itself, you'll get a job wherein you'll be paid very nicely and you'll be a financial planner and advisor. Whenever a new project is coming up, company wants to fill the tenders, you'll play a very, very key role in financial planning and framing the policies. Okay, so policy making is also a very, very important task in civil industry. And next is asset management. So asset management will include two types of assets, movable assets and immovable assets. How we'll manage those assets, or how we will increase the assets of the company so that maximum profit making you can achieve is the important scope of finance. So asset management. Now asset management itself is a topic for a project or a seminar. Asset management for a construction company. So what are the different types of assets and how as a project manager or construction manager you can manage those assets is very, very important. Okay. So now with this, the two concepts are covered, which includes economics, definition of economics, and application, its scope, and all those things. What happens is when we are in class, interactions are more, and how time goes we'll not understand. But the presentation, what happens is, even if there are 15 slides or 20 slides, the things will move ahead very quickly. Then next we have is the M factors. Okay, these are the M factors which I have named them as, which will play a very, very important role. Now, what I want is my next class, I think, is on Wednesday. So there are 7 M factors which I have listed: market, manpower, money, management, material, methods, machines. So from your knowledge point of view, you should be able to discuss with me few things from your point of view with respect to any of these terms, how they are important from construction and economics point. Okay, so this is a small thing which I am giving you all, and these are all common sense things. Okay, these are the M factors which we will be discussing in the next class. Okay, so on this we will be discussing the things. So I'll want you all to come up with your ideas. And one more thing I want to tell you all: be silly, no issues. Okay, here we are not judging anyone. Here we have just come with an view of learning some things, and getting used to this online classes itself is a big task. So I request everyone, if you all, I think your 9 members are present, which is I think 2 or 3 more than the class attendance which we used to get in. So these points which I'm putting up on the screen, with this have in view. We will discuss this in the next class and then go ahead with the further things. So I thank you all for attending today's lecture. So in the chat box, I request you all to put up your USN with the name for the attendance, so that we have to give a weekly report to the university as well as the college. So I'll get an idea how many of you all were present. So once again, I appreciate your efforts of getting up, and I think it was the first class for your second semester. Hopefully further I'll be able to make the classes interactive, and I'll put up some concepts which are beyond the syllabus also. So I thank you all for attending the classes. If anyone has any queries or any suggestions regarding how to go ahead with the things, you are free to give. Or else I request you all to put up the attendance in the chat box so that we can exit the meeting. Thank you all. If anyone has any suggestions, anything, you can personally also tell me. Not an issue. On the right hand side, you'll have one chat box. There you have to press on chat and then type your USN and name and send a message so that it will be recorded. So once you have given the attendance, you can leave the meeting. See you all in the next class. Thank you for attending. Have a good day. Once you have put up the attendance, you are free to leave the meet. You can exit.